Welcome back to the Charlie Cook Cricket Podcast. Now, we have had an absolute hammering of KKR today. Mumbai Indians have put them to the sword and walked home a chase which could have been done in about 7 or 8 overs if they would have put their foot down. I'm joined with Joe today. We are going to go through the game, breakdown of what we can. I mean, there wasn't actually much cricket. 16 overs in the first game, in the first innings, and then just under 13 in the second. There was barely a T20 in there. Joe, KKR got absolutely dominated today, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I was quite disappointed with them. I mean, I kind of have gone back to this a couple of times in podcasts that we've done about the IPL where I've kind of been a bit concerned with KKR. And I know obviously they played pretty well in the last game. But I was quite disappointed with them. This is kind of more how I thought they'd perform kind of throughout the competition, I guess, which is maybe a bit harsh. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with them overall.
I mean, that opening pair of Sunil Narine isn't in the same form as he was last year, and Quinton de Kock is not the same T20 player that Phil Salt is currently. That for me is the issue. That they got Phil Salt and Narine got them off to such good starts last year, and it basically put them into a position where like, oh, we're 95 for one after the power play, and it's like you've got to do something really bad to lose from that position, and they were 2 for 2. When both the openers got out. Ajinkya Rahane is trying to fill Shreyas Iyer's role. Now, the golfing class between those two is ridiculous in T20 cricket. Venkatesh Iyer, it's just feels like they put so much faith into him, and there's not even. Would he get into India's fourth side in T20 cricket? I don't think he would. Just a lot of mid just throughout that lineup. They've tried to turn Spencer Johnson into Mitchell Stark, and Spencer Johnson is Mitchell Stark that you ordered off Temu. It's just not quite there. I can see their batting lineup improving and it firing one day, but it's a little bit like we're seeing from Sunrisers at the moment. They're not this big high scoring side when especially those top two don't fire.
Yeah, it's a worry, isn't it? And I think, I mean, obviously last game Narine didn't play, and de Kock maybe felt more responsibility in that instance, potentially to be the guy who kind of took onus, because that was a really good innings. It was a like a period of 97s, that kind of couple of like 24 hours, wasn't it? And he was obviously one of the people who got 97, and I thought it was a really good innings. But yeah, today they just struggled. Yeah, I like Raghavanshi. I think he looks like a good player, by the way. I will say that. I thought he especially plays the short ball well, which obviously kind of a good asset to have for just generally around the world. So I think he looks like a good player. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like they're quite there. Rinku Singh isn't obviously in the best form. Yeah, it doesn't feel like kind of things are kind of really working for KKR at the minute. And maybe they do turn to Gurbaz eventually. I was also surprised, well, maybe not surprised, but I was also quite disappointed that Moeen Ali got dropped. I thought he bowled really well the other day. And obviously Narine, the mystery spinner, and absolutely whacks it at the top of the order. I think potentially they could have backed Moeen for another game just based on how well he bowled. I thought it was a little bit maybe, I guess, disappointing, personally from my point of view. So yeah, they're an interesting side. They're a bit of a conundrum, I think, KKR. And I think if it clicks, they'll do really well. But when it doesn't click, they'll be struggling. I think that's what we're seeing at the minute.
Yeah, and a reason I didn't click today, Ashwani Kumar, 4 for 24 from his three. Where have they found this bloke from? This Mumbai Indian scouting network that they seem to have just seem to find players from anywhere. I thought, okay, I'll look him up. I'll look at his ESPN Cricket Info page, and he's played like 9 games on it. Like, you wouldn't be able to find him if you were looking at the deepest, darkest Ranji Trophy stat. You just wouldn't find him. He just doesn't exist. He's played 2 first-class games, 4 List A games, and he's now played 5 T20s, one of those being in the IPL, and somehow they have managed to find him, and he takes the best figures for an Indian ever on debut. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand how they keep doing it.
No, it's crazy. I mean, him and Vignesh have been brilliant, really. I mean, I know Vignesh was a little bit expensive today, but I think he's been brilliant. Left-arm leg spinners. I mean, it's kind of well documented how much I'm a fan of left-arm leg spinners. And yeah, I thought Ashwani was brilliant. I think the thing that he got so well was kind of his bravery. He wasn't afraid to kind of play a little bit of cat and mouse, almost like you miss, I hit kind of thing. And I thought that really stood out to me today. Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. So that was like you say, an impressive find. And they do that with domestic players. They do that with a couple of overseas, like Bevan John Jacobs, who hopefully I'm hoping will get a chance later in the tournament. Like they just like kind of pluck players out of nowhere, and it's brilliant. And yeah, I never heard of Ashwani. I never heard of Vignesh before they kind of rose to prominence with Mumbai Indians. So kind of credit to them because the way they scout them, and also I will say the thought that they put into it in terms of sending Vignesh out to MI Cape Town and learning off Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan isn't a player of Mumbai Indians, but they're using their kind of connections there and their franchise kind of network, I guess. And that was so smart. And I'm not aware if Ashwani has done a similar thing or not. He may have, he may not have. But either way, I just think they're so smart with their scouting and plucking these players out of nowhere. And they're brilliant players and entertaining to watch. So.
Yeah, and Mitch Santner bowled incredibly today. He's just a very good all-round cricketer, isn't he? Just whenever someone picks him up, you just think, okay, yeah, he's going to give you some runs at the back end, and he's going to bowl 4 overs, and they're going to be pretty tight for you. I just think he's a really good picker. Who did he get picked up by in the 100?
I can't remember. I completely forgot.
Yeah, no, I can't. Isn't he playing? Is he playing for Surrey this year?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he'll be playing in the Blast.
That's a good
Sorry.
Yeah, because Surrey need more players, don't they? I'm sure we'll get into that at some point. Mumbai Indians chase relatively easy in the end. Rohit Sharma still found a way to make himself look pretty shit. 13 off 12. Ryan Rickleton gave it a bit of a smack. It's good to see him score some runs. I really like Ryan Rickleton. I liked Rickleton when he was playing at Yorkshire, but then all of a sudden he burst onto the stage in the first SA20 and has just... The stocks of him have risen and they'll keep going up. And he's now got an opening spot for the biggest franchise in the world, probably, in Mumbai Indians. I mean, he's a serious, serious player.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? And I mean, he reminds me so much of Quinton de Kock. It's crazy. It is like I'd love to see them. I'm sure it's happened before at some stage. I'd love to see them both batting at the same time, because that would just be like bizarre to watch. It'd just be like seeing double kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're both outrageous players, kind of at their peak, and I think we're seeing peak Rickleton right now. And I don't think he's going anywhere for a while. And hopefully I'm sure he will keep his spot in the South Africa Test side ahead of the World Test Championship final because he could light up that game. So yeah, I think Rickleton's a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
To kind of, like you say, kind of rise through the ranks, almost rise to prominence and get himself a spot at one of the biggest franchises in the world is impressive. Yeah, he's a great player, so dynamic, scores all around the ground.
Yeah, and Sky also got a bit of a confidence booster with his 27 that he scored today. He's been in awful form the last 6 months.
Yeah, he was really poor against England in the bilaterals. Obviously, he's kind of lost his ODI spot as well, which I agree with, to be completely honest. But when he's on it, there's few better to watch really than the Sky. My favorite shot that Sky plays is the one kind of to like fine leg.
Yeah, I'm literally just about to say that he played that shot today, and I still don't know how he gets it.
It's ridiculous, and he nails it for 6 every time. It is ridiculous, and I thought it was interesting that Tilak got dropped down the order as well. I know obviously Jacks came back into the side, but I think Tilak should be batting 3. He batted pretty well at number 3 last game for Mumbai Indians. I mean, obviously, again, it wasn't their best performance as a team, but I thought he played pretty well. And we spoke before, I think it was in the preview show, about Jacks potentially becoming the new Moeen Ali. And I definitely wouldn't be surprised if MI trialed Jacks down the order because he offers so much. Obviously, he didn't bowl today, but they clearly rate his bowling. I think he bowled 4 overs in the first game. And I remember he got Sam Curran out, which I'm sure was kind of good for him to get his mate out as well, which is was always a bonus. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see Jacks kind of drop down the order. But I'm sure Tilak potentially just drop down the order to let Sky kind of hit his way into form potentially because he seems in pretty good form himself.
Yeah, they need him to perform. Sky's so important for that. And I just wanted to make a note. Hardik Pandya I was a little bit worried about last season, especially about giving Hardik the captaincy over Rohit. I think he's just perfect for that role. He's such a clever cricketer, especially with the ball. I mean, he never goes for runs. His variation of length and pace is always so good. And it just seems to be perfect for that Mumbai team. He's got that level of I want to say it's arrogance, but in a good way. He is a personality. He does lead on that pitch, and I do think he's probably a better captain than Rohit Sharma is for that Mumbai Indians side. So I can see why they went for that. You would have said, if I would have a year ago, I wouldn't have been saying the same thing. I would have said, "But Rohit's India captain, give it to him." But I think that's going to start to pay off. I know this was Mumbai's first win, but I like the look of their team at the start, and they usually start slow, and they had a couple of tough games. CSK in Chennai. I can't remember what was the other one that they lost now.
Gujarat away, wasn't it, I think?
Yes, it was, and Gujarat are usually pretty good at home as well. So the tough kind of starts of the tournament, but back at the Wankhede today, I think they're going to be a really good team, and I'd be amazed if they're not in that Final Four towards the end. It did also make me laugh that even they were chasing, what was it, 117. They weren't even interested in touching anything that Chakravarti bowled at them.
Yeah,
he went for 4 and over and just thought,
that's crazy. I think that just shows the kind of fear factor that Chakravarti's instilled in players across the world. And really, I also think that shows the fact that almost India's batters were kind of, Mumbai Indians batters were kind of, let me rephrase that. Mumbai Indians Indian players were advising the batters to just be careful and watchful. They've obviously faced him a lot. These guys, well, Rickleton has faced him before. Oh no, he didn't face him in the Champions Trophy, actually. Apologies. But Rickleton's faced him before, I'm sure, at some point. I don't think Jacks will have ever. Probably in the IPL, actually. But apart from that, people will have seen him enough. Rohit, Sky, Hardik Pandya, these kind of guys know him, Tilak know him. They'll just be saying, watch him. Don't, he's hard to pick. Even look, they're going to struggle to pick him as well. And I think that's kind of a consolation to many people around the world.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a banana skin in this game, it's you trying to smack Chakravarti out the park, and all of a sudden he's got 5 for 8, and you're 6 down with 40 to win, and all of a sudden it looks a little bit scary. That's how you lose this game. So just playing him out was the right way to do it. A little bit like sides do with Rashid Khan now. Of I'm not even going to try and play it. I'm going to see him off, let him have 1 for 20 from his 4, and I think that's probably going to be the way that playing Chakravarti goes, which is a benefit for KKR because high-scoring games that they're going to be involved with, you're going to want 4 overs that go for 20 runs. But it just made me laugh that they didn't have to take a risk against him, and they weren't interested in taking a risk against him. Tomorrow's game, we've got Lucknow versus Punjab Kings. Joe, any predictions for tomorrow? Who do you reckon is going to win?
Well, I was a little bit sceptical about Lucknow before the competition started. I mean, obviously they've kind of brought quick bowlers in now. Shardul particularly is impressed, and Punjab have only played 1, so I could actually see Lucknow potentially winning that game. I'm surprised Punjab have only played once. I don't really necessarily agree with the schedule in terms of it doesn't seem fair that they're the only team who's played once. Some teams have played 3 times, but yeah, that's how it's been. Punjab were a little bit disappointed in their first game. And yeah, I could see Lucknow potentially nicking that. Like I said, I didn't really know what I thought of them at the start, and I'm not convinced. I potentially look to move Pant up the order, bring Bretsky in maybe, move Pant to the top of the order, Bretsky at 3, and drop Markram because he seems a little bit short of form. Just to give Bretsky a chance because I think he deserves it because he's quality. So yeah, I could actually see Lucknow winning that, but it wouldn't surprise me if Punjab snuck a win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Punjab to win that one. I was slightly low on them at the start. I thought they had a good performance. I still don't trust Lucknow. They still don't have any fast bowlers, and they can't keep getting away with not having any fast bowlers. I mean, they kind of got found out in the first game. Won the second against SRH. SRH, I think, have had their own problems, and that probably showed it a little bit more than how good Lucknow are. So I'm going to go Punjab Kings to win that one. But that is going to be it for today. We will be back tomorrow for a bumper county championship preview. Obviously starts on Friday, so we will be going through every single team. So if you do enjoy your county cricket, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the podcast wherever you are listening, Check out Joe as well. All of his links will be in the show notes or the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow.